Well, good morning there, guys and gals. This is Auto Tech. So, welcome to day 2 of this trip. Right now we are in Umatilla, something like that, and that's in Oregon. If you watched the last video there, I couldn't do that quality in, that one where I pulled into right at the very end there. They wanted to put me like the second floor, very back of the building and stuff like that, and I was just like, huh. So I just basically like came into town and I just like rolled into this place and it was like $20 cheaper. It was like $53 for the night. And yeah, so it was just like, okay, well, that's a fraction of the price, and then like my gear is like right there, and then to smoke, all I gotta do is like basically step out of the room. So that's where I ended up staying. Yeah, that room was kind of a hole. But whatever. And then the frustrating thing was like there's like no food around, so I basically had to walk over to that grocery store and I just bought some stuff. It was like a people of Walmart in there. The lady in front of me, oh man, she took like, she's like, I want to say like 5 minutes just to pay. She didn't use one card, she didn't use 2 cards, but she used 3 cards and cash for like $70 worth of groceries. So for some reason, I've had this happen to me on the road before. My clock on my phone decided not to like update to the current time. The weather app showed the proper time, but then like my actual like phone clock just stayed the same. So I ended up getting up at like 4 a.m. here, which yeah, that's pretty gross. So we're getting on the road pretty early here, but that should actually be all right because then we'll be rolling into Portland at a more reasonable time. You know, it won't be so busy, I hope. So I wouldn't imagine there's going to be a whole lot going on for the next few minutes here at least. So what I'm going to do is let you guys go back to bed since it's so early, and I will check in with you in a bit. So I'm making some good headway here. I thought this was kind of cool because I've done the like Washington way to Seattle like a bunch of times, like on the I-90 there, and the scenery there is pretty similar to this. But this is kind of cool that you get to follow along the river. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not the Columbia River? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Someone will let me know, and they'll give me a big lecture on how it was started and what its origin was and the chemical compound of the rocks that lie on the bottom. The joke behind that is a couple years ago. Yeah, a few years ago now, I did that cross-Canada ride, and I was in, I think it was Kingston, Ontario, and I was like, for sure this is the St. Lawrence River. Like I, took a just quick look at a map, and I was like, I didn't like zoom in or nothing, and I was like, oh yeah, this has got to be it. And I was like, yeah, look guys, St. Lawrence. I was like, cool. And then just in years since posting that video, I have had so many people that were just like, that building you passed on the left was actually this building, and then this building was over here, and then that river is actually this, and it connects with this, and I'm just like, it's cool to know, but it's just like, I had one, I want to say it was like 6 months ago, and I was like, man, that video is 3 years old, or 4 years old, or something like that. I think it's an old video, so, yeah, whatever. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but right over there, just after the hill, and then just before that other hill, I'm pretty sure that's Mount Rainier. That's kind of cool that you can just kind of like see this one mountain from here. At least I think it's cool. When the temperature is pretty decent, like it's not amazingly warm right now by any means. It's 8 degrees Celsius, so I think that'd be low 40s Fahrenheit, which isn't that cold. You know, it's pretty well warmer than my rides to work. The only difference is my ride to work's a half hour, not like multiple hours. So that's why I layered up this morning. But when the temperature is decent, you know, you're comfortable, you're not freezing like I was yesterday morning. I don't mind these like early morning like blasts down the highway. They're actually like pretty chill, and it's like you can just relax. And right up until like just a couple of minutes ago, I mean, it was basically just me and that white car, like all the way from the turn onto this highway. And I don't know, I just really enjoy that kind of stuff. Like one of my like favorite days or whatever for riding was when the Angry Ginger and I left Osoyoos, British Columbia. Like we got on the road at like I want to say 7 a.m. because he sleeps in and nobody can wake him up. Refer back to that video if you want to see what it took to wake him up. But yeah, it was just like we were just on this like no man land highway. Like there wasn't a vehicle. Like we didn't see a vehicle for probably like 50 minutes, and we were just blowing down the highway like within the speed limit, absolutely. But I mean, it was like 18 degrees, you know, like I think that's what, like high 70s. Like, oh, it was just fantastic. And we're just like just speed limit down the highway, you know. You wouldn't have heard us coming, you know. But yeah, it's just like stuff like that. It's just like super chill. Like it's like I really enjoy that kind of stuff. You know, a big long interstate like this definitely isn't all that exciting. Like I don't mind this scenery over here. That's pretty good. But the fact that I probably could just let go of the handlebars and just about make it to Portland with just steering with my knees kind of thing, that's not as much fun. But you know, you gotta get it where you can, because you know, not every trip could be some epic whiny back road adventure, especially when you're working on a little bit of a time constraint, because you know, it takes you 2 days to get to Vancouver, British Columbia, taking that number 3, which is an excellent highway. If you're ever in the area, I recommend you do it at least once. But for me to take 2 days to get to Vancouver every single time, I mean, I can barely get time off from work as it is, like let alone adding an extra 4 days because I want to take 2 to get there and 2 to get back because about the ride, man. So I decided to take a slight little detour here. My low fuel light came on, and then it said, like, you know, the next turn was Rufus or whatever. And you know, I just saw like off the side of the highway. I was like, oh man, like this would be all right for like a photo opportunity. And so like the exit came down, and it was just like left of the gas station or right, and I'm on this road. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'll spend the 5 minutes and go get the, you know, the photo for the gram. Doing it for the gram. Now, there was a pathway right there, so I don't think I'm doing anything too terribly illegal, and I won't be here for long. But in case you don't follow me on Instagram, this is what it's going to kind of be like. Got the sun behind, got the dam, pretty sure Columbia River. Yeah. This shall get me, I'm going to say, a solid 40 likes. Yep. Well, alright there, guys and gals. Took a couple of photos. Made sure to upload one. Yeah. So. Nope, that's not where I came through. I think it was... Yeah, it was over here. Yeah. There we go. You gotta... If you're doing something douchey, you gotta stand up and stuff, you know, let everybody know. It's not like I'm actually adventure riding. And we're back on the road. Yeah, that was definitely a pretty cool spot. a lot of boats out on the river, so I guess it's a good morning for fishing, or a good area for fishing. Although I think, 95% of the time when people go fishing, it's not actually to catch fish, it's just to get away from the world for a bit. I guess that's their form of motorcycling. Yeah, I'm headed to Rufus there, because my low fuel light's on, don't got a whole lot of range left, which I knew, I just didn't want to fill up in that little Umatilla town. So yeah, I'll get the gas all topped up, and then we'll be making our way back to, or I guess not back, but going to Portland. Now, if you check that out, that's a pretty cool view. You got the dam, you got the bridge, you got the mountain behind, right out. That's pretty cool. I want to say that this is called the Dalles or something. D-A-L-L-E-S Dam. So, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, that's actually that's pretty damn cool. Right on. So all I had for breakfast was the other half of that damn sandwich I bought last night. So I'm starting to get pretty hungry, but I'm only like an hour and 20 minutes away from Portland. So it's like, yeah, do I like stop at some stupid little town here and like have like a McDonald's breakfast sandwich, something, nothing great, or do I just tough it out, push through to Portland, and then I could actually have like a decent sit-down breakfast. Whenever I'm on the road, I try to have at least like one decent meal a day. And what I mean by decent is like it's not from a truck stop or a fast food place. And that didn't end up happening yesterday just because of the the food available in that Umatilla. So that kind of sucked, and then those grocery store pre-made sandwiches, it might as well be a cheeseburger from McDonald's because they're probably the same level of plastic in them. But yeah, good sit-down meal would not be the worst thing. Well, the stomach got the best of me. I pulled off on the Cascade Locks exit, and I'm just gonna get a snack to tide me over, and then I'll do like an actual like sit-down breakfast or something in Portland. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Well, wasn't she just something? I don't know how you could eat that much ice cream for breakfast, because it's like 9 a.m. here. So, yeah, I certainly couldn't do that. So that is the final stop before Portland. I think what my game plan is, because I was kind of looking at it, and just due to like how early I am for everything, I'm going to hit up, I think it was called Tigard Harley Davidson first, because I was kind of looking at the map and I was just like, oh, okay, well there's like a Harley here on my way into town, but they don't open till 11. And I was like, huh. I was like, okay, so here's what I'll do is I'll go to the Harley like across town, because they open around the time when I'd be getting there, which is perfect. And then from there, I might, I don't know, I ate too much food there, so, it turns out their breakfast sandwich there at that little drive-in was actually pretty big, so I might not actually need to do like some sit-down meal once I get into Portland. So yeah, I'll hit up that Tigard Harley Davidson, get myself some chips, and then from there it's an hour until that other one opens, and they're back across town. So then what that does is it gives me a chance to kind of do a loop through the town, because I'll come in from like the northeast, get to Tigard, and then I like loop back down to I think it's called Lattice Harley Davidson, and then from there, I might go north into like Vancouver, and then yeah, I haven't checked if their Harleys are open on Sundays or not, so we'll have to see about that. But the game plan is just to get to Seattle today, which really isn't far or hard to do, and then that kind of gives me a chill night, and then I could actually just kind of rip around Seattle for a little bit, because you all know how much I like doing that. And on a side note, it looks like another dam. Cool. Right on. Yeah, so that's kind of just the game plan for today. And then I got to call that family in Surrey at some point today, because they still haven't seen my Facebook message I sent them the other day saying like, hey, I'm gonna be in town. You know, that sly, like, I need a place to stay. Yeah. So now we're kind of getting into some stuff. I don't think we're quite in Portland yet. I think we're in Gresham. Or no, maybe we are in Portland now. We didn't look through that. On a side note, you want to know what's frustrating? There was one of my work courses available here in Gresham, or back there in Gresham, and it was for this week, which I had time off, and I was coming here anyways, but the shop just couldn't make it happen, even though it's free for them to enroll me. You know those stupid things that bosses say when they think you don't know the answers? Yeah, it was one of those situations where you just shake your head at them and you're like, I'm not as stupid as you look, eh, bud? Oh, here we go. Starting to see some cool stuff. I always enjoy like downtowns. I could never live downtown and I could never work downtown, but you know, when the traffic's not too bad and it's a good looking one, I definitely don't mind ripping through them. The last time I was here in Portland, I want to say it was like 2013, and I literally just passed right through it, just on the I-5, basically went straight north, and yeah, I was just coming up the coast from another trip that I was doing, so I really didn't get to actually like do a lap around it or anything like that. I just got the Prism low battery warning, so this thing might not actually make it until we get to the Harley Davidson. That kind of sucks, but not a big deal. Once I get there, I will switch over the battery and whatnot, and we will carry on with this long second day video. But yeah, as long as it doesn't die before then, I will check back in a couple of minutes here once I make a little bit more progress. Right before the battery dies, I'm just going to go ahead and get this in for myself so I can refer back to it later. That's one of the nice things about having the camera with you is, you know, you can actually like record quite a bit of the stuff, and then you can always come back to it later and review, because it's stuff to pay attention and, you know, ride and not die, and you know, take in the scenery at the same time. So, you know, just something to think about. Well, all right there. Welcome back. We made it to Paradise Harley Davidson. Got a fresh battery in the camera. Grabbed some poker chips, and now we're off. There must be something wrong with that other battery, because the battery I had in yesterday, I didn't even change it until dinner time. And like it didn't even need to be changed. Like I just saw that it only had one bar left, so I decided to change it. What's going on with my computer? I don't know why my GPS isn't working here. I'll check back in a sec. So yeah, back to what I was saying. That battery, it basically had one bar by dinner time, and I had made plenty of recordings. But then this morning, the battery I popped into it, I mean, geez, the thing didn't even last 4 hours. Like, I don't know, it lasted 4 hours, but just barely. And I really didn't, you know, record much of anything. So I don't know what was going on with that one. The battery must be getting worn out or something. So now I'm making my way to Lattice Harley Davidson. It's just on the other side of town, I suppose. But I'm going to do it in such a way that I get to like loop the bottom half, because I came in and I basically like went across the city and then down. So now I'll loop the bottom of it, and then from there I'll go straight up the other side, so then I at least get to see it all, sort of. Now I know it's not going to show up in the camera, but that window has a Triumph sign hanging in it. And then that other Harley I was just at, it had a Royal Enfield sign. So like, do they just, I don't know, like, do they team them up here, or like, I thought that was a big no-no, like, for companies. Wow, look at this place. That is just wild. The size of the Harley Davidsons here. Just awesome. Like, I love it. It's just so cool that, you know, because the Calgary, it's just like, you get to basically show up and buy stuff. But it's like these places you get to like hang out and stuff like that. Like some of them have bars in them and stuff like that. It's super cool. So they don't open for another 20 minutes. So what I'd actually like to do is I'm going to play on my phone a little bit here and just kind of map out where I'm going next. So I will check in with you guys soon. So they did indeed have a little Triumph corner. That is just crazy. Although I guess it's not so crazy for the States, because you see like the car dealerships and stuff like that are combining and whatnot. And I guess if they're not like a direct competitor or something like that, then you know, why not save the cost on the building rent and whatnot. It would appear they're having some sort of like Bikers Against Child Abuse rally or something today, because there's quite a few people there. Fortunately, I don't have time to stick around for it. So unfortunately, the Vancouver, Washington Harley Davidson is closed today, so we won't be hitting that one up. But yeah, this basically concludes my time in Portland, sorta. Now I get to kind of do the other part of it on my way out. And then I'm going to basically just carry onwards north. You know, that'll get me to Seattle at a decent time where I can check into a hotel, unload the luggage, put my jeans on, because these adventure pants are going to be rather warm this afternoon. I might have to pop the vents open, and I don't think rain is forecasted. But yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think we're about, what, 2 hours, something like that, 2 hours from Seattle. I'll probably stop somewhere along the way just for lunch. Maybe I don't really need fuel, but you know, lunch, smoke. So that is where we will catch up together, catch up with each other, something like that. I was wrong when I made my 2-hour statement. Yeah, I think that's at Olympia. I don't think that's to Seattle, because Seattle's still like 150 miles away, and I was kind of thinking about it in my head. I was like, I'm only doing like a touch over a mile a minute, so that's like 2.5 hours. And I was like, crap. Yeah, starting to get hungry though. I'm not quite sure where I'm at right now. Somewhere. LA Center, Cowlitz Reservation. So that's where I'm at right now. I wouldn't mind grabbing some lunch at some point here, but so far nothing has caught my fancy. I got this like sharp pain like right beside my right shoulder blade, like next to my spine. I think I've got like a rib popped out or something. I've been trying to like stretch it or get it to like crack and pop into place, but I just can't seem to do it here on the bike. So once I'm off the bike, I'm gonna have to see if I can just like lean back into something. You know, you remember back in school, you'd like stretch and yawn and like lean on the back of your chair, and then just everything would just go like pop, 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 pop up your back, and it felt so good. I think I'm gonna have to try and do that at my next stop, because it's just like when I've got my right arm like reached out, it's just like this feeling is just like poking right beside my shoulder blade. So that's not good, because it like makes it uncomfortable. So, and it's not like a muscle ache, it's like something is out of place. I probably like slept on my head last night or something. That bed was awful. I stay in some bad places, but I mean that place was one of the top bad places. I am in this lovely little place called Kelso. I took this exit because I saw that there was a Denny's. I was like, well, I will grab gas and cigarettes. And then I noticed how busy it was to get back on the freeway, like immediately, and I was like, oh no, I regret my choice here. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, no, it'll be good to actually have a decent little sit-down meal. I wonder if there's somewhere to park in the shade. I don't know. It's starting to warm up pretty good though. I don't know if I'll change into my jeans or not, because then my luck it'll rain. So we're getting back on track here. That was that line up there to turn left at these lights. I decided to take a different way. Luckily nobody saw me, but yeah, it worked out alright, because now I'm going to get through. I kind of hate and love like when you get stuck somewhere like in traffic like that, or you know, you're just standing there in the sun and then you like immediately get going on the freeway, because it's like you start to sweat when you're just sitting there, and then you get moving, and then suddenly it's like you feel cold. So it's kind of like you love it because you're feeling good, but then you hate it because you feel cold for a minute. You just gotta like adjust to it, and then eventually it goes away. So let's see what that says. That says about 63 miles to Olympia. So that's, I think the Harley Davidson is just a touch past that. And then Seattle was 120 miles. So basically we're an hour and then an hour right on. I think I did a little Googling while I was sitting there in that Denny's, because their service was so slow. I'll probably stay in that, like, you know, Kirkland area, just because I knew it so well. And then see, what would that put me to? About 2 hours from now. That puts me to about 4 o'clock, so that's not bad. Chill day. And then yeah, unpack the bags, and then from there I could just, I don't know, eat something or whatever, and then go for a little cruise. Doesn't sound too bad at all. All these slowing down vehicles isn't a good sign. Might make that last little trek there kind of painful. Word of advice for you though, if you are on the highway like this and suddenly traffic starts stopping like that, do not stop directly behind that vehicle in front of you, because chances are you weren't paying full attention, so you better believe the guy behind you wasn't paying full attention. And then where does that leave you? It leaves you between the vehicles. So either get right here in the middle, or if you've got a shoulder like that, just pull off into that shoulder. Like even with me right in the middle there, like it might clip my bag or, you know, something like that, but it's sure a lot better than just being pushed underneath that vehicle in front of me. So just something to think about when you're out riding around and suddenly traffic comes to a stop. Because I even do that in the city, right? Like even if it's just kind of bumper to bumper stuff, if you get that little moment where, you know, suddenly everybody starts speeding up, and then it's like, oh, holy smokes, get on the brakes again. I pull right into the middle just, you know, to be safe. Well, this isn't very fun. What the hell is going on here? On the GPS it shows that it just like it's red just until like around the corner, and then that's it. It like clears up after that. Huh, that sucks. Well, welcome to Northwest Harley Davidson. Just bought a couple of chips there, and yeah. So I was thinking renting next, even though one of my first times here to Seattle, I actually went to that Harley Davidson.
But back then it was called Lawless, and now it's called Jet City Harley Davidson. Oh, gotta do up my pant legs. So it's pretty warm out. I undid all the vents just because GPS there was showing that there could be some traffic. I'm surprised a state like Washington hasn't legalized like lane filtering, let alone like lane splitting or anything, but just even like lane filtering. So it's kind of the way of the future, I'd say.
Ooh, it feels so good to get moving again. My derp. So, I'm going to tell you a funny story here. Just be forewarned, you might want to skip like 1 minute ahead if you don't like oversharing. So I was standing at the counter there buying the poker chips and thinking, I'm like, I got about an hour to go. I was like, I kind of got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, got all my gear on and stuff. I was like, oh man. So I go to the bathroom and I discovered a huge flaw with these adventure pants. Like, you can't like pull them down. Like, I don't know, like it's something about like the knee pads and stuff in it, and then it like gets caught on the top of the boots. So it's like I could like at best get them to like 3 inches above my knee. And so you're just like sitting there with your like knees together because you got your pants up so high that you can't like relax. So there's your oversharing, but it's also kind of like a review of these pants at the same time. Like maybe they need to put a flap on the back or something. I don't know. Because I mean, I couldn't imagine if I was like out adventure riding and I was like, oh, you know, like, because you wouldn't be able to like squat like that. It's like, oh man. But on a side note, there's still a bunch of snow on top of that mountain. Huh. And start watching the mirrors. Make sure that guy sees me. Get towards the middle, just in case he gets rear-ended. Alright, now we sit here like idiots. We're clipping pretty good here. And I'm looking at the GPS and it's showing like red, just right up there, and I'm just like, oh man, there's gonna be a lot of, yeah, there comes all the brake lights. Yep. Oh, I hate when that happens. Oh man. Maybe I shouldn't have had that lunch, because that put me like an hour behind, because they were so slow. Like maybe I could have avoided all this traffic. But then again, maybe I'd just be sitting in the traffic and miserable because I'm starving to death. Just making sure I'm not gonna get smushed. Appears like I'm okay. Alright. Well, I'm not too happy here. I was trying to turn the camera on. Like, I'm like going through all this stuff and I'm just like, God damn it. Like, and I just couldn't get it turned on. Like, I was like, I've never had this problem before. I don't get what's going on here. Like, something must have happened. I pull up at that light and I like specifically look in there and I like push really hard and hold, and then it turns on and I was just like, come on. Jesus. But as you can see by that sign up there, we're almost at well, what used to be Lawless, now Jet City Harley Davidson. I'm kind of glad this is the last stop here before I go and make my way to the hotel. I'm kind of just done with today. I just want to get all the gear off, and then I want to, you know, just go for a cruise. Like, no destination, no nothing that I have to do. Just have some fun. So, just to check back in on that, I think it was the battery. Because I went to jump out of here and I went to turn it on, and then like it wouldn't turn on. So I you know, took the battery out. Oh, still nothing. And then so I decided to just switch the battery anyways, because I carry I think like 4 with me or something like that. And now it turned on absolutely no problem. That's annoying. Alright, so now I am just
just gonna make my way up to that Totem Lake, Kirkland area, and yeah, then we'll find ourselves a nice hotel room and get changed. And yeah, I think if I do end up heading out tonight, I think that'll be worth a second video. Yeah. I must get to my sanctuary of the toll lanes. Or the HOV lane, whatever you want to call it. But I gotta get there. Now, I'm not sure. Like, I'm pretty sure it's you can cross the white, but you can't cross a double white. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Or at least that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Alright. We're already in it, so life is good.
This is one of my favorite parts about the 405 is kind of when you're coming into that downtown view. I should just move here. That's what I should do. I'd like to. I think I'd have to settle for almost an incident up there. I'd have to settle for like Vancouver. That would probably be the in between, you know, that West Coast weather style, but you don't have to bother getting a visa or nothing. But then the Vancouver cost of living is just through the roof. I don't know. I just don't know.
God damn it. Well, alright there, boys and gals. I don't know why I had to go in there to prepay my stuff, whereas usually I can just pay at the pump, but whatever. Not the end of the world. It's done. So, I am going to head to the hotel now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this second installment of day number 2 on this trip. I know the trip videos can be pretty brutal at times just because they're so slow and look at me here, look at me there. But, you know, if you're new to this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for taking the time and watching.